Hello guys, this is your friend. We are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto gets a Doujutsu that lets him charm any woman and build harem, part 3. And if you enjoy this fanfic, then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. Shizune untied the belt holding her shirt closed, then paused. If your technique is as effective as you claim, unless it's a registered technique, after your mission could you teach it to me? If it's that good I could use it to help Tsunade. It is registered, but I can teach it if I want. I'll think about it and let you know later. Naruto said. He hadn't lied, it was registered, but it was a mix of pressure points, Juuken techniques and the most advanced seduction techniques in Konaha. Shizune smiled. I'm a little shy and even for this I'm nervous about strip NG. I have to ask you not to tell anyone what you see, agreed. Hi, you have my word I'll keep this secret as long as you want me to. Naruto said. Shizune nodded, sighed, then removed her shirt, revealing a black sports bra that was slightly overstuffed with what he figured to be fully cups. It was obviously half a size too small intentionally. She had excellent muscle tone though. After folding her shirt and setting it on her sandals on a chair, she nervously unfastened her belt, dropped and stepped out of her pants, showing her long, well-sculpted muscular legs, nice hips, and when she turned to set her folded pants on her shirt, a firm ass. She was wearing civilian, black silk panties that he found very cute, and damn. She blushed when she saw him smirking. Not a word, they were a birthday present. Shizune said, trying to be menacing in her underwear while blushing. And as expected, it was an exercise in futility. Calling up her courage, she removed her bra, showing her full but slightly sagging bare and large brown nipples, then turning her back to him, pulled down and stepped out of her panties, placed both on her folded pants, took a deep breath, let it out and turned around. Naruto looked her over. Nice, full but still soft they sat on her chest, palm-sized brown areola and decent-sized nipples that reminded him of Tenten's when soft. Physically she was a model kunoichi, smooth, soft muscular female curves you expect on an experienced kunoichi, and though hers was thicker than most, a well-trimmed medium-sized black bush on her mound, above smooth lips. You're in great shape, Jonin. Naruto asked. Hi, how do you know? Shizune said, slightly impressed. Experience. Kunoichi med nin have high-stress jobs. Some of my female classmates work at the hospital part-time, and in exchange for some private training the older kunoichi med nins get my massage. Now if you'd lay face down on the bed I'll get started. Naruto said. Shizune nodded slightly. She could see the logic in it. She'd worked with Tsunade in hospitals of various sizes in almost every country. She went to her bed and laid down as instructed. Remember, no funny business. Naruto read her body language. He was a little surprised to see that she appeared to have dropped her guard. He knew from Anko and the others that an experienced shinobi would only do that in a safe place with their most trusted friends. She was listening, and at a very subtle shinobi level, on alert to anything he tried. She has to be testing me. She probably doesn't think I can tell she isn't really relaxed. Anko did this to me dozens of times during training until I learned to read her. Naruto thought, then stepped up to the bed by her head. Just relax and let me do everything. Naruto said calmly, then moved her arms to her sides. Shizune let him move her arms to her sides, then a moment later felt his surprisingly strong but soft hands on her neck and then her shoulders. She'd expected his hands to be rougher. Despite his age he was obviously an experienced shinobi. She moaned lightly in pleasure when he kneaded her shoulders, his thumbs pressed into key points she knew to be effective. He kneaded her neck and shoulders for 8 minutes, then focused chakra into his hands and eyes as Kyuubi taught him, then using his enhanced sight and touch to find the special chakra points near her neck on both sides, gripped her shoulders, placed his thumbs, pressed down with his thumbs as he sent his chakra through them into her body. She let out a loud moan of pleasure as a subtle shiver ran through her body, just as he expected. Oh Kami, what did you do? I've never felt anything like that before. Shizune said, breathing slightly harder for a moment from the brief burst of intense but surprisingly relaxing energy that just ran through her. That's one of my special techniques I created. The first time is usually pretty intense. Sorry, I forgot to warn you about that. It's been a while since I had a new customer. Naruto said calmly. 1 down, 9 to go, but she's definitely a type 3. She'll be begging me to her before I get to 5. Naruto thought. 12:31 p.m. She'd never felt like this before. He'd only been working on her about 20 minutes and was only down to her lower back, butt and thighs, but he'd hit 2 more of those spots on her back she didn't know she had. She felt totally relaxed, but at the same time she was highly aroused and she'd completely dropped her guard. She didn't know if it was because she'd never done this before, if it was just being touched like that, even if it wasn't. But her mind had started drifting in that direction, and as much as she fought at the focus of the libido-driven fantasies running through her mind was Naruto. She knew he was 10, but he was also a trained, and obviously experienced ninja, so he was an adult. Her sensei Tsunade had graduated at 7, when most kids were learning to mold chakra. She was doing A-rank missions and killing people. Despite being on her stomach, when he'd pushed her right leg basically straight out on the bed and draped her left over the side, essentially spreading her wide and giving him full access to her most intimate area, she happily let him. Her only thought about it was how good the next rush would feel. She was actually looking forward to them now. Naruto brought his hands to his chest, hands in fists except for his index and middle fingers that was together. He focused his chakra into his fingertips for the next strike, a twin strike to a spot on her upper, inner thighs. He had to stop a moment and hold in a chuckle. On her unusually large, left outer labia was a 1 tattoo of a pig he recognized as her pet, Tenten, who was in Tsunade's room. Kinky bitch. I didn't think she was the type to get a tattoo. Looks like she has a hidden kinky side. Well, this makes it easier. Naruto thought, refocused, and struck both points on her thighs at the same time with powerful Juyuken strikes he could only hit because of his bloodline limit and a lot of training. He watched her entire body lock up for a moment, then she went limp, but from her breathing he knew she was still awake. He glanced at her half-open womanhood. His eyes and nose told him she was ready. Before I do your legs I need you to turn over. Shizune said dreamily. Oh, sure Naruto-kun. Shizune said dreamily, unaware she'd referred to him as kun. She closed her legs a moment, flipped over and without even thinking spread her legs wide. Naruto ran his hands over her stomach a moment like he was starting a massage, then slid them up onto her and began firmly kneading them, which made Shizune moan in pleasure. Shizune, are you a virgin? Shizune nodded immediately. Oh yes, I've been with Tsunade for 10 years, I was your age when I left Konaha with her. Naruto-kun, would you make love to me please? Shizune said, her nipples enlarged quickly getting rock hard. Naruto smiled. Are you sure Shizune? I don't want you to do something you don't want to. Naruto said in a calm, but firm voice he practiced almost 2 weeks to get just right. Shizune turned and sat up, facing Naruto, his hands still on her. Please, I can't help myself, I've never felt like this about anyone before. I want my first time to be special, and you can do that for me. Treat me like a loved woman, not some one-night stand. Naruto nodded and gave her his patented smile. She immediately began unbuckling his pants, and the moment they were, she yanked them and his boxers down. Shizune gasped in shock and lust-filled awe at what she saw hanging between his legs. Oh dear Kami, you're huge. Please tell me I'm not your first and you know how to safely use that. Shizune asked, both very excited and nervous. You aren't, and I do. Naruto said with a smile, then laid her back on the bed. She scooted over so she was in the center. Naruto removed his shirt, sandals, and stepped out of his boxers, already half aroused, climbed up on the bed between her legs. You get yours first, Naruto said smoothly and laid down on his stomach, his face inches from her already hot, wet Glad he'd put his special seal on the room when he came in, he leaned in and softly licked the underside of her erect, and as expected, she screamed in pleasure. Once the initial wave of pleasure had washed over her, what little restraint she had left went with it. "Oh Kami, please make me a woman, Naruto, don't lick my it. I want to feel you inside me, now." Shizune yelled, her entire body trembling. "If that's what you want, then that's what you'll get," Naruto said, not the least bit surprised. Makoto and Yoshino had been the same way. They weren't virgins like Shizune, but they were just as, if not more, repressed. Before he released them, you could have sharpened kunai on there, they were so hard. Naruto crawled up her body until his steel-hard erection was at her soft entrance. "Are you sure you?" Naruto said calmly. "Me? Bury that giant in my before I explode," Shizune interrupted. Naruto smirked in amusement. It was amazing what you could get used to. "Okay. You want it hard and fast, then you get the full treatment," Naruto thought. "You want hard, you get hard, my little," Naruto said in a calm, but commanding demonic voice. Shizune suddenly froze and paled as she looked into Naruto's now red eyes with vertical slit pupils. "Oh dear Kami. Guess again," Naruto said, then shoved it in as far as it could go, crushed her in his hands and began pounding her relentlessly. 5:47 p.m. My poo, my. I think you broke it, Naruto-sama, Shizune said, totally drenched in sweat and on the verge on exhaustion. Her longest, hardest hospital shift and most intense training with Tsunade had never left her this tired. She hurt in places even she didn't know she had, but despite all that, she'd never felt better in her life. "I'd normally leave to let you sleep for 12 hours, and you would, but we'll be docking in about half an hour and you need to be alert and ready, so I'm going to do something I usually don't," Naruto said as he slipped his shirt on, then walked over to Shizune, placed one hand on her chest, the other on her lower belly just above her waistline, and a moment later his hands started glowing green. Shizune saw his hands glow, then moments later she felt it, the rush of energy through her body. "Naruto, are you? Refill your chakra reserves." "Yes, but this is temporary, you'll need a full night's sleep tonight, sooner if you have to use much chakra. This is temporary, don't push yourself if you don't have to. While a little more potent than yours, you'll use it faster because it isn't natural to your body," Naruto said, then finished about a minute later. She didn't say anything else. Shizune nodded, then got up and headed for the shower. As he watched Shizune head for the bathroom, he was considering whether or not to charm her. "I'll wait and see what happens. I may not need to, but Tsunade is going to be tough. I doubt I can manipulate her like I can most women, considering what Jiraiya has told me about her. If I bring up Dan's name, I'll just piss her off. I thought I had time to finish my training, oh well. I didn't want to, but if I can't manipulate her gambling or sake vices, I'll just charm her," Naruto thought. 6:14 p.m. Musaki Hotel, lobby. She walked to the desk, Naruto behind her, a large bag in each hand. "What room is Doso in?" Hisame asked without waiting for the young man behind the counter to even greet her. "I'm sorry, miss, but we can't give you," he said, before she grabbed his hair and smashed his face down on the counter, breaking his nose and sending him to the floor dazed. A gray-haired man immediately rushed over and took his place. "Please forgive him, he's new and didn't recognize you. Please accept my apology, you won't see him again, we simply don't tolerate such things here," the man said and nodded. A moment later, two large masked men appeared, grabbed the stunned younger man on the floor and vanished with him. "They don't mess around here, he's dead," Naruto thought. "Thank you, Koji-san. I've had a long trip and am anxious to see my husband and relax, so if you'll give me a spare key I'll be going," Hisame said. "Hi," Koji said, and a moment later handed her a key card. "Room 320, enjoy your stay." Hisame smiled. "I will. Come." Naruto nodded and followed her. == 6:17 p.m. Room 320 == A very busty young blonde girl with pigtails to her knees dropped her clothes and followed the doso to the bed where another girl with long black hair, a similar build and also barely in her teens, was lying on the bed, fingers buried her bald and smiling. She joined the two on the bed. The dark hair girl immediately deep-throated doso's hard. She sat on his stomach and bit her bottom lip when he roughly grabbed her. She ran her hands up his chest, rubbed them in circles a moment, then raised her right and lightly slapped his chest and smiled down at him. Say hello to Shinigami, she said sweetly. Woo, what are you taugh? Doso said, then tensed up as pain ripped through his chest and left arm. He shook a moment then collapsed, the burst eritry in his heart still pouring blood into his chest. The blonde vanished in a puff of smoke. Hisame walked in a moment later, saw Doso's body. The confused girl ran over to him, checking his pulse and not finding one, screamed. A moment later Naruto looked into her eyes and they sparkled. He died of a heart attack. There was no blonde girl, just you and him. The girl nodded. A few moments later several of those masked men appeared, followed a minute later by Mr. Koji. What happened here? Koji asked. The girl ran to Koji and hugged him, crying. He had a heart attack, I think. I was blowing him and he grabbed his chest, made some choking sounds and died, then they came in right after he died. She said. Looking sad, Hisame walked to him. I checked him as soon as I saw him. I could tell from across the room he was dead. He doesn't have a pulse. Hisame said sadly, but holding back her emotions. I'm sorry for your loss, Hisame-san. If you wish to stay, there'll be no charge. He was one of our most honored guests and a friend of the owner. As his widow, his room and status are now yours. Koji said, then pulled the crying girl from him, turned her toward Hisame and held her by her shoulders. By policy, intentional or not, she was responsible for his death. What would you like done with her? Koji said calmly. The girl trembled slightly. She was well aware of this hotel policies as one of its special employees. What they could do to her was literally unlimited. Death was the very least of her worries. She also knew she wanted to stay with the blonde boy. She hoped he found her attractive. She'd been raised at the hotel, so freedom was something she never known. She could be happy as his slave though, even if he was a slave himself. I have no use for the little whore. Hisame said truthfully. She wanted to kill the girl for what she was doing, not that she was surprised. She knew Doso had been cheating on her for years. She saw Naruto's face with her peripheral vision and knew he didn't want her to kill the girl. Whore or not, the girl hadn't really done anything wrong, and she didn't want him to even be disappointed in her. She knew the kind of person he was and wanted her to be. But she'd make a nice plaything for my new servant. Do you want her? She has a nice face, firm body, looks tight, and she has huge tits for her age. Hisame said. Naruto walked up to the girl, grabbed and gently squeezed her H-cup, felt her arms, stomach and legs for muscle tone, noting she was in excellent shape for a civilian, spun her around and grabbed her butt. It was very firm, bent her over the bed, spread her legs and with his right hand felt her inside and out. He knew she would let him even if she wasn't conditioned to obey. As he could tell just from her eyes, she'd probably been raised as a servant. He let her stand and face them. She'll do. Thank you, Hisame-sama, you are most generous. I accept. Naruto said and bowed his head to Hisame. That was easier than I thought. That idea Naruto had in the hallway was brilliant. I've never seen a shadow clone so realistic before. If I didn't know better, I'd think she was a real girl, even if I checked her. Now I just have to hope Tsunade does her part well enough to fool them. Hisame thought. I want his body examined to be sure he really died of a heart attack. I know you have doctors here, but I saw Tsunade of the Sanin on the boat. I'd like to hire her to do the examination. If there was foul play, she'll find it. There's no better med nin in the world. Hisame said. I'll send for her right away. Please have Tsunade brought here, and be polite. The owner will be most displeased if you start a fight with her and she destroys anything. Koji said firmly. The masked men nodded and one of them vanished. 6 minutes later, an angry Tsunade walked in, followed by Shizune. I don't like being summoned like this. I was in the casino getting into a high-stakes poker game. Whatever you want from me will cost you. And tell your goons if they ever grab me or Shizune, I'll rip their balls off. The man downstairs could use a checkup for a concussion, and someone to set his arm. Tsunade said. Koji just nodded. This is Hisame, widow of Doso. We believe he just died of a heart attack, but she wants him examined to be sure he wasn't assassinated. I'm not here to do anyone's shit work and don't care who he was. I'll examine him for you, but it'll cost you for what I probably lost downstairs and for my time, 1 million, in cash, and my stay here in free. I get a bill for anything and I'm coming for you first, Koji. Do I make myself clear? Those are my terms and they're non-negotiable. Tsunade said sternly. Done. Koji said without batting an eye. He was being overcharged, but he wasn't going to argue with Tsunade. Not only was she a very honored regular guest, but she was as powerful as a cage and could easily level the hotel in minutes with her bare hands, after she took his head off. Even the owner didn't provoke her. 14 minutes later. Tsunade cracked her knuckles. It was a heart attack. He had a weak spot in a coronary artery I doubt he knew about. From what I found, any other med nin would have missed it during a standard examination. Thank you, Tsunade-san. Your money will be sent to your room within the hour. What would you like done with the body, Hisame-san? Koji said. I'll seal him in a scroll and take him back to Snow personally for burial. Hisame said. Naruto pulled a scroll from his pocket and handed it to her. Thank you, Hisame said, went to the bed, opened it, flashed through the hand signs. A moment later the body vanished in a puff of smoke. She rolled it up. Thanks you, Tsunade. If you don't mind the company, I could use a drink. Hisame said. Tsunade shrugged. What the hell, sure. Shizune, for once find something to do and have some fun. Tsunade said, then headed for the door. You have the day off, be back at 11 tonight. Now everyone get the out of my room. Hisame said, then followed Tsunade out the door. Everyone left but Naruto and the girl. After I unpack her things, would you show me around the island? I've never been here before. Naruto said. Hi, how do I address you? She said. Call me Numaki. What's your name? Naruto said. I have no name, Numaki-san. I'm Sasako an, whore and unworthy of that honor. She said. I have to call you something since I own you now. I got it, you're Siko. Naruto said. Her face lit up with happiness and pride. Thank you, Numaki-san, you're most kind. May I hug you? Siko said, visibly trembling. Sure, and as long we're alone, think of yourself as my friend, not my slave. Naruto said. As you wish, Numaki-kun. She said nervously. Numaki-kun is fine. Naruto said. Siko practically threw herself at Naruto, hugging his neck tightly, her huge squashed against his chest. Naruto smirked. He knew she'd act like this even if she wasn't charmed. Her entire being was wrapped up in pleasing her current master. Even with his ability and friends in Konaha, he knew what he could do to help her was limited. He could see in her eyes she'd never known freedom, and without a foundation to build on, she'd never be independent enough to live on her own. Luckily, he had friends she could live with and could give her an honest job. Could use some grass, but you were right, Siko-chan, it is nice here. I never thought I'd say this about a 2-acre slab of rock surrounded almost completely by giant boulders, but this would be a great place for a big house, even another hotel. Naruto said. Siko smiled happily. I've been here many times for parties. Many of the special guests here are from Earth Country and they like it here because it reminds them of home. Sometimes a group of them bring a bunch of us here and make us fight. Siko said nervously. What's wrong, Siko-chan? Some guys really like watching beautiful women fight. Naruto said. I know that, Namaki-kun. I was trained to do those kind of fights with the other girls. Squeeze tits, pull hair, kick. I've done it and had it done to me by the other girls, older and younger, and by both men and women that hired me. But the rock nin are different. They make the older girls fight to the death. It's allowed, but most like to see the same girls fight when they come here every year, usually in their room, then the winners. Usually it's fun, despite the pain, or because of it for many of us. I didn't want to tell you because we don't like to talk about those parties, even among ourselves, we've all lost friends, lovers and family. Siko said, trying not to depress him. How many girls are there? Naruto said strongly. Siko flinched. It varies during the year, but usually there's around 300 girls from all over, most of them sold to the hotel as a baby by their parents, like I was, or used to pay gambling debts. Please Namaki-kun, don't make me talk about this. I just want to enjoy our time together alone, I don't want to think about the hotel. Siko said. Naruto pushed down his emotions and smiled at her. Okay, for now we'll just enjoy the scenery. I kinda like high places, is that mountain the highest point on the island? Naruto said. Yes, you can see the whole island from up there, it's a very popular picnic spot. One of my regulars since I moved up from serving girl to whore 2 years ago likes to take me up there for a picnic after a day at the casino because he says I'm lucky, then me. He really likes me and is even gentle. He's really not a bad guy, he's even kinda handsome. Siko said. Maybe I'll do that, but when we leave in a few days, you're coming with us. Naruto said with a big smile. Siko's jaw dropped. Why? You mean you and Hisame-sama really bought me, I'm yours now, forever. Siko said, too stunned to even react to the good news. Yes, from now on you're Siko, a servant, not a whore, so don't you dare even think of yourself like that part of your life is over. Naruto said. Siko squealed like a little girl, threw herself at Naruto wrapping her arms and legs around his body, face buried in his neck. Naruto had to laugh. When we get back to the hotel I'll buy you some nicer clothes, the shirt and shorts you have on are old, gray and don't fit you well, as a friend of mine likes to say, pretty girls need pretty clothes. She'd have a lot of fun giving you a makeover. Siko dropped off him to her feet. Really? I can't wait to meet her. Naruto's smile faded slightly as he remembered something. Even thought she was charmed, he still hadn't told her the truth. There's something I need to tell you. Well, what do we have here? I see someone is using one of my favorite whores. Are you finished with the little cunt yet? A male voice said. Siko cringed in fear as she spun to look at the source of the familiar voice. She hugged him tightly. Naruto looked at him a moment, trying to see if he was anyone he knew. Then he recognized the man's robes as that of the Tsuchikage, probably the only non-Konaha shinobi that knew his father better than anyone. In fact, the man's hatred and fear of his father surpassed all others in the entire elemental nation, as he was one of the few men to survive a battle with the Yellow Flash. She's not a whore, she's my friend, and we're leaving. Naruto said, put his left arm around her shoulders and headed for the mountain. Unfortunately he just came from that general direction, which was between it and the hotel. Stop. Where are you from, boy? The Tsuchikage demanded. Standing barely 20 feet from the tall man that reminded him of Sarutobi with muscle, Siko between him and the old man. I'm from a small village I doubt you've heard of. Naruto said calmly, not even looking at him. Look at me, boy. The Tsuchikage demanded. My mistress is expecting me, she'll be upset if I'm late. Naruto said, still not looking at him. I'm the Tsuchikage, and you will answer my question, boy, or I'll make you. He demanded strongly. I don't care who you are. This isn't Earth Country and I'm not one of your shinobi, I answer only to Mistress Hisame. Naruto said calmly. Despite how he was acting, he was dealing with a kage, and one of the most powerful based on the few things he knew of the man, he didn't know if he could beat him. HMPH, that bitch, I'll kill her as easily as I'll kill you, she's nothing. The Tsuchikage said arrogantly. Naruto tensed up. He really didn't want to blow the mission and reveal his true identity, but he was running out of patience and options. We're leaving, Naruto said as calmly as he could and started to walk away with Siko when he was blown off his feet. Stone Tomb Jutsu. The Tsuchikage said. Then a dome of rock surrounded the girl and sank into the ground with her inside. Now that the whore is gone, maybe you'll be more cooperative. The Tsuchikage said. Naruto sat there a few moments in shock, then leapt to his feet. Bring her back. Naruto said calmly but strongly. She'll already dead, she's a worthless whore, she wouldn't last 10 seconds without fresh air. The leader of Earth Country said casually. You're lying, she's still alive. Now bring her back. Naruto said, now yelling as tears formed in his eyes. No, she was a whore and her life was meaningless. The Tsuchikage said casually. Naruto slowly shook his head as tears ran down his cheeks. Her name was Siko, and she wasn't a whore. Naruto said, screaming the last 3 words as his rage exploded. He stared coldly at the Tsuchikage, his eyes already in level 2, blue with crossed, slit pupils plus then they changed to a starburst pattern as they finally advanced to level 3 and his chakra jumped to low Jonin level. Looking at the face of the blonde boy he saw his unusual eyes, then saw them change and felt his power. Though a little impressed at seeing that the boy was a trained shinobi, what really caught his attention was the look on the boy's face, and his spiky blonde hair, he'd seen it before. You're Minato's son, he said as anger started to fill his being. Bring her back. Naruto commanded powerfully. He felt the surge of emotions and desire to obey, but he resisted it. A mind control bloodline limit. Interesting boy, but it won't help you against me. He said fiercely and activated his own unique bloodline limit, and turned into diamond, a moment later exploded from his spot with a cloud of dust and knocked his smaller opponent about 50 feet with a punch. A few moments ago, Konaha, Naruto's apartment, rooftop terrace. Sitting around the table as they usually did after breakfast on weekends and days off from the academy, Anko, Kurenai, Hinata, Ino, Sakura and Tenten were enjoying the cool morning breeze that always blew across the rooftops and chatting about girl stuff. I think I'd look greased with a pair of Triple J cups. Kuri-chan, could you do a henge of me with those? Sakura said. Anko laughed, a big perverted smile on her face. Of course, I just need a moment to get the image fixed in my mind. Kurenai said with a smile and stood. This is gonna be good, you with a pair of watermelons. Anko said and held her hands a foot in front of her chest, palms facing her. Everyone suddenly turned and looked when Tenten stood suddenly, kicking her chair away from her, holding her head and screaming as she backed away from the table. Naruto-kun's in danger. Tenten screamed in pain, which was suddenly ripping through every inch of her body. She hunched over, arms crossed over her chest and stomach, a 4 feet white-tipped, black fox tail burst from the base of her spine. She went up on the balls of her feet as her legs became vulpine, toes extended and became clawed. She threw her head back, chest and arms out and let out a roar of pain as her mouth extended 4 inches into a short muzzle, her teeth became fangs, her eyes slitted, her ears long and pointed as they moved up her head, her fingers clawed, and her swelled to firm, round E-cups. Tenten stood to her new height of 5 feet 8 inches as a short, dense coat of black fur covered her. She let out a frightening howl and vanished in a cloud of red smoke. They stared in awe, even Anko and Kurenai were stunned, they'd never seen anything like that before. Did anyone know Tenten could do that? Anko said blankly. They all shook their heads no. The island, with Naruto . As Naruto sat up and was about to stand, there was a puff of red smoke in front of him, it quickly cleared to reveal a fox girl. Are you okay, Naruto-sama? She said in a powerful but caring voice. Tenten, Naruto said, stunned because of how she looked and how she got there. Hi, Naruto-sama. I'm here to serve and protect you as the bearer of the Kyoshugen. This is the bloodline limit of my clan, granted to us by the great Kitsune sealed within you. Tenten said, her mind suddenly full of information as if a door was opened, releasing forgotten memories. A summon, a most unusual clan, but it still won't save you. The Tsuchikage said then flashed through a series of hand signs in blinding speed. Earth style. Grand Stone Hydra. Naruto watched as two stone dragons rose up on both sides of the Tsuchikage, each double the size of the normal jutsu. Oh shit, Naruto thought, the regular jutsu he could deal with, but he'd never even heard of this version. A moment later all four raced at him. Tenten didn't even flinch, she dropped her hands to her sides, palms facing forward, and did a double upward slash. All four stone dragons were instantly cut to ribbons and collapsed like dropped loaves of sliced bread. I will not let you to hurt Naruto-sama, attack him again and I'll kill you. Tenten said calmly but strongly. The Tsuchikage laughed. Dai Konaha scum, he said and started flashing through hand signs. Tenten's fur took on a red tint as powerful wind was suddenly swirling around her. An instant later she literally exploded from her spot, kicking up a big cloud of dust with a clap of thunder, and before the sound of her explosive burst of speed could even register in his ears, she struck him with a right-hand palm strike. He shattered like glass away from her, as if he exploded from the inside. Naruto's jaw dropped, his eyes were back to normal. He could feel it, she'd just used the full power of Kyuubi, even he couldn't do that yet. How? She quickly ran back to Naruto and helped him up. Naruto stood, then saw her transform to a more human form. She still had the fox ears, red slitted eyes, claws and tail, but was otherwise back to normal. Then she tensed up and slapped him. Hard, for her anyway. How could you do this to me, Naruto-kun? I gave you my heart, my soul and my body and look at me. I'm a half-demon monster. And a slave, a slave. Do you know how that makes me feel? Tenten yelled, filled with her love for Naruto, and anger at what was done to her against her will. I didn't know about this Tenten-chan. I swear, Naruto said, still stunned. I love you with all my heart, Naruto, and would do anything for you if you asked, but you took that from me like I was nothing. Tenten said as she started crying hard, hugged Naruto's chest and leaned her head on him. Naruto hesitated a moment, then carefully hugged her back. He wasn't surprised when she actually flinched away from his touch for a moment. In Naruto's mindscape, Kyuubi was remembering what she'd done thousands years ago to Tenten's ancestors. She'd honestly forgotten about that, and knew some serious explaining to Naruto was coming, and that scared her. Naruto suddenly tensed up. Siko-chan. Tenten looked up at him, confused. Who? Siko-chan. She was a slave here, we freed her last night. She didn't have a name until I gave her one. The Tsuchikage buried her underground a minute ago with some jutsu, he said she's a worthless whore. I have to save her, she's buried here somewhere. Please, help me Tenten-chan, I promise to take her back to Konaha to have a real life. I can't let her die. Naruto pleaded. Broke his hug and ran to where she'd been buried by the jutsu, his eyes changed to level 3 again. There's too much rock, I can't find her, can you see her or smell her? Naruto said, his voice filled with fear that his new friend was dead. Despite everything else she was feeling, she couldn't let this girl just die without trying to help her, even if she'd never met her. She ran over to Naruto looking at the ground and sniffing. Her senses of sight and smell was sharper than normal, but still not enough. Tenten paused a moment, clenching her fists tight. She truly hated what she was about to say, but she had to do it. Naruto. Konaha, Naruto's rooftop terrace Standing in front of Ino, Sakura and Hinata, Enko and Kurenai were facing a slightly agitated, but confused, Sarutobi, 4 female Anbu, Kakishi A.N. Kakashi's female name, means, running fast double time, and Izumi. A.N. Itachi's female name. What happened here? Sarutobi said. He'd felt Kyuubi's chakra, a weakened form of it at least, which was confusing him a little because while still stronger than normal chakra, it wasn't as strong as it should have been, like a watered-down drink at a cheap bar. Enko glanced at the girls then Kurenai, who basically just shrugged, they didn't know any more than she did. I don't really know Hokage-sama, I don't understand it but I'll try to explain as best I can. Anko said, took a breath and let it out slowly as she focused her mind and organized her thoughts. As you know, Kurenai and I live on the first floor, Ino lives on the second floor. When we all have breakfast together, then come up here to talk and enjoy the weather. Tenten is usually with us. About 2 minutes ago she grabbed her head like she was in pain, said Naruto is in danger then. There's no other was to say it. Tenten transformed into what I'd have to call a demon fox girl. She had the red eyes like Naruto when he's using her chakra, but she also had fox ears on top her head, a muzzle, vulpine legs, a 4-foot-long fox tail and was covered in black fur. She looked like a human fox, then she howled and vanished in red smoke. If I had to guess what happened, as incredible as it sounds, I'd say she teleported to Naruto to help him, wherever he is right now. Is that what you saw, Kurenai? Kakishi said, her left eye still covered by her Hitai-ite. Hi. That's what happened, Hokage-sama. We didn't know Tenten had that ability, but I think it may be a bloodline limit given to her ancestors generations ago by her, to protect an ancestor of Naruto. Based on her concern for Naruto, and that she knew he was in danger from so far away, is my best guess. We'll have to wait for her and probably Naruto to return to know the truth. Kurenai said. Sarutobi thought about it a few moments, then nodded. Thank you, Anko, and I must agree, Kurenai, that sounds like a reasonable assessment of the situation. For now you'll tell no one what happened, I'll talk to Naruto, Tenten and her parents when they return. For now everyone is to relax until we know what happened. Dismissed. Sarutobi said, then the 7 of them vanished. I need a drink, not having Naruto-kun around. What just happened with Tenten and the thought that he might be in real danger and there's nothing I can do to help him has me on edge. Join me, Kuri-chan. Afterwards, I think we need to do something to work off this stress. Up for some fun, girls? Anko said. Hi, I could use a drink too. Kurenai said, knowing Sarutobi meant not to tell anyone Naruto didn't control. That sounds like a good idea. Sakura, Ino, follow me, I'll need some help getting some things set up for us. Hinata said. Sakura and Ino nodded obediently. When Naruto wasn't around, Hinata was in charge of the girls, regardless of their age or kunoichi rank. A few minutes ago, the island, hotel casino Tsunade looked at her poker hand. She was using most of her incredible willpower to hold her poker face. The reason? Her starting hand was a royal flush. It has to be Hisame, she's bringing me good luck, and not my usual luck that happens before something horrible. If I play this right, I can take him for a fortune and. Tsunade thought, then her train derailed and she dropped her hand on the table, face up, when she felt it, the shock showing on her face. No. No, it can't be, and not here, that's impossible. Tsunade said, actually shaking a little. She stood hard, throwing her chair back a good 15 feet where it shattered against a marble column. I won't let that happen again. Tsunade roared in rage. The entire floor of the casino went dead silent. Everyone turned to stare at Tsunade, but no one made a move. Even the shinobi guards weren't foolish enough to challenge her when she was upset. Hisame swallowed nervously. She was powerful, but compared to Tsunade she was a wet behind the ears genin. Is something wrong, Tsunade? Tsunade scanned the casino at lightning speed, and realized no one else had felt it. She grunted in annoyance. Follow me, Hisame, I'll need your help. Tsunade said and turned to the dealer with a glare that would have made Orochimaru shit his pants in fear and put a hand on her stack of chips worth over 20 million. She doubled her money 6 times already and had only been playing for 2 hours. If anything happens to my chips before I get back, I'll do things to you that's make Shinigami vomit in disgust. Do I make myself clear? The dealer instantly nodded hard enough to knock his glasses from his face. Tsunade turned and took off running at incredible speed, followed by Hisame. The instant they were out of sight he passed out cold on the floor. Next to the house-sized crater, Tenten left where she ripped up the ground to find Siko, Unfortunately that was all she'd done, but at the moment it was enough. Tenten had found her in time, almost. Naruto was kneeling over Siko, and while no med nin, he was using every trick he knew to keep her alive, and all he could manage was keeping her on the edge of death. Crash. Naruto and Tenten turned suddenly when a figure crashed through the boulders surrounding the clearing. She's dying, you have to save her. Naruto pleaded. Tsunade ran to them, stopping next to an obviously half-demon girl. Kyuubi's influence she knew from the fox features, but there was no evil intent, which was the only reason she hadn't attacked. What the hell is going on here? Who's the Kitsune girl and why is that girl dying? Tsunade said strongly but calmly, fists clenched tightly. Wait a second, you're from the boat and she's the girl from the hotel room. Please Tsunade, you have to save her. I promised her a better life, don't let her die. I'll tell you everything later, I'll pay you any amount you want if you'll save her, she's my friend. Naruto pleaded. Tsunade looked down at the girl, she was a little bloody, as were his hands, and it was getting to her. She knew the girl was the whore from the hotel room and she was Hisame's now, and while part of her wanted to help, the blood was bringing back a lot of very bad memories. I found you Tsunade. Shizune said then gasped in horror at what she saw and ran to their side, dropping NCXT to the girl she activated a healing jutsu. What happened to her Naruto-kun? She's barely alive. Naruto. I thought his name was. Wait, Naruto. Naruto, I know that name. Tsunade said then took a good look at the blonde boy. Dear Kami. Shizune said to herself, not even looking at Tsunade. He's their son Tsunade-sensei, I found out on the boat, before we made love. Shizune said nervously, biting her bottom lip as she continued trying to save the girl. Their son. Tsunade said blankly, her face showed a torrent of powerful emotions. Please help me save her Tsunade, if she dies all. Shizune said and paused as the words caught in her throat. I'll leave you and return to Konaha with Naruto-kun. Tsunade collapsed, legs folded under her to her left, hands down to support her, head down. I can't, I'm sorry. Tsunade said weakly, tears starting down her cheeks. She's dying, I'm not strong enough, please Tsunade, don't let her die, he doesn't deserve to go through this, please, don't do this to their son. Shizune said strongly, then had a thought. Naruto, I need a chakra boost, give me as much of your chakra as you can spare. It'll probably destroy my chakra coils, but I'll make that sacrifice to save her. Shizune commanded. Tenten stood there, watching the scene unfold. As much as she hated what had been done to her, she knew all about Shizune and Tsunade. She clenched her fists tightly. You were my idol, how can you sit there and let her die? Or let your apprentice end her career because you won't help save this girl. Grr, you disgust me you worthless old bitch. Tenten screamed then slapped Tsunade hard across the face, sending her flying down to the bottom of the crater. I can save her by making her like me. I hate that this was forced on me, but as a Konaha kunoichi, and whatever I am now to Naruto, his girl Fire ND, his slave, whatever it is I know in my heart he still loves me and I won't let someone he cares about die. If she cares about Naruto, and I think she does, she'll accept this like I am, as long as Naruto-kun loves me. I can live with anything. Tenten said then stepped up to them and kneeled by the girl's head, opposite Naruto. Tenten Naruto said. Please Naruto-kun. Tenten interrupted. I know, and I'm not mad at you, this wasn't anything you did. Tenten said, waved him and Shizune back, ripped open the girl's shirt exposing her, transformed to her full kitsune form then slapped her right hand down on her chest over her heart which glowed with red chakra as she pumped it into the girl's body. I'm sorry I have to do this to you, I hope you'll forgive me. Tenten whispered. Shizune sat there still stunned that girl had slapped Tsunade down like she was nothing and sent her flying. Almost as shocking was watching this half-demon girl force red chakra into the dying girl's body to force a transformation. From what she knew about them it had to be similar to being a Jinchuriki, and they generally had greater healing than normal humans, she knew Naruto did from what had happened on the boat. Though thinking about that, and him, aroused her, she suppressed it because this wasn't the time or place for that. Tenten removed her hand as the girl suddenly screamed and arched up on her hands, feet and back of her head for a few moments, then collapsed, breathing hard and shaking slightly. She should be all right now, she'll sleep a while then will transform into the hybrid form. Tenten said then reverted to her hybrid form. Like this. I'm sorry. I deserved that. Everyone turned and saw Tsunade standing there, looking rather humble. I'd like to check her, if I'm still wanted here. Tsunade said, looking at Shizune. Hands. Shizune said, hopefully. Tsunade held both out with a small smile. Steady. What's your name? Tenten, 11, Konaha Kunoichi in training, one of Naruto-kun's elite girlfriends, and apparently his bodyguard. Tenten said. Tsunade, over 30, Sanin, top med nin in the world. And former drunken bitch with a paralyzing fear of blood. Tsunade said and rubbed her cheek where she'd been slapped. That's quite a backhand you have there. Felt like I was hit by my own punch. Tsunade said and laughed a moment. I want to thank you for pulling my head out of my, you too Shizune-chan, I'm sorry about everything you've been through because of me. Can we start over? I'd like to help if I can. Tsunade said sincerely. February 15th, 8:32 a.m., Hisame's hotel room His head locked under her right arm, his face pressed into her huge through her green jacket, Tsunade gave Naruto a noogie. Hell of a girl you have there, brat. Don't screw it up by treating like some slave, got it? Tsunade said and released him. Either of them, I've lost two people just like that. Trust me, you don't want to go through it. We're still going to talk about what you and Shizune did, but for now that can wait. So, if this mission is done, I assume we're all headed back to Konaha. Not that I'm looking forward to it, but you and Fox Girl there helped me get my shit together, and I hate to admit it, but I owe you both, and Shizune deserves a real life and home, so how are we doing this? Tsunade said and sighed. Actually, we still have 4 or 5 days before we have to leave, so here's what we're doing and I don't want an argument from anyone or you'll regret it. Even you Tsunade, as strong as you are it won't protect you from me, asked Shizune. First, Tsunade, you and Shizune are going to go gamble, see some movies, enjoy the spa, have a good time and relax, forget about everything else. Tenten, I'm assuming you can get back to Konaha the same way you got here, so take Siko back with you, tell Hokage-sama what happened then introduce Siko to the family. I'd like her to stay with your Kurenai and Anko, but either way she'll need you to help her with her new abilities until I get back, and give everyone a kiss for me, tell 'em I miss 'em and we'll see them soon. Naruto said then paused a few moments. You're a pushy little brat, but I'll go along for now since I could use it, and so can Shizune. Just don't get used to leading me around on some leash like you do Shizune and the others, this bitch isn't broken yet. Tsunade said. Naruto subtly smirked. Thank you Naruto-kun. Siko said happily now that she knew the truth, not that it mattered as she was charmed. Okay Naruto-kun, don't stay away too long, we miss you. Tenten said, fully transformed, grabbed Siko's shoulder and with a howl vanished in red smoke. Tsunade whistled, then left with Shizune. Once alone, Hisame turned to Naruto who was obviously waiting for something. What about me Naruto? Hisame said nervously, almost submissively. Naruto sighed as if disappointed. You really are just tits and aren't you Hisame? Naruto said emotionlessly, saw her flinch slightly then nod slowly, obviously ashamed. There's only one thing to do to you then. Naruto said as he stepped up to Hisame, who he could tell was becoming a little afraid. I'm gonna you. Naruto said with a huge smile, unable to hold it in any longer. Hi Naruto-san, I'm sorry What? Hisame said sadly, then what he said fully registered in her mind and hope filled her being. You mean it? I earned your trust. First tell me something. I know you love snow country and you have plans for it I probably won't like, but would you give up everything to move to Konaha and be one of my girls, but never be a kunoichi again? Naruto said, testing her. I wouldn't be a kunoichi of snow or Konaha, but I'd have you, friends and lovers, right? Hisame said. Right. You'd basically be retired. Naruto said. Hisame stood there and ran everything through her mind. She had plans to find the missing princess, get the treasure, kill her, and with Doso dead she'd rule snow, but now she was conflicted by her growing love of this blonde brat that had somehow done what no one ever had, breached all her emotional defenses, touched her heart and earned her respect, trust, and despite everything, her love. She couldn't deny it, he had her by the heart and could destroy her with a few words. Hi, I hate admitting it, but you tamed the snow dragon and melted her frozen. Hisame said and bowed her head in submission. Naruto looked at her with a subtle smile. He'd been right, and as much fun as it would be to fully tear her down first, he knew she'd been suffering since that night she met Kaiken and he told her about his girls. Go on Naruto, charm her and make her happy. You hate making her suffer, regardless of what she's done or her reasons for hiring you for this mission, she wants to change for you. Kyuubi said. Yeah, I know, you don't mind spending the day in the closet do you? I'll give you a whole box for lunch to make it up to you, but you know why I can't let you run around here. Naruto thought. It reminds me of my old cave, but when we get back to Konoha we're going to make some changes. The apartment is great, but I need some natural surroundings, that means grass, trees and a small pond with fish. Kyuubi said. Naruto agreed then stepped up to Hisame and lifted her face up so she was looking at him and smiled. Strip. Naruto said. Hisame smiled happily. Hi, and thank you Naruto-kun. I'll do my best to please you, I know you like big tits like mine, but how do you feel about? Why? Is yours bigger than normal? Because if you think it's too big and I won't like you because of it you're wrong, a few of my women back in Konoha are well endowed down there. Naruto said. Hisame looked down at the floor. No, I have a tiny. Hisame exclaimed sadly. Please Hisame, don't be ashamed, please, show me. Naruto said calmly, to reassure her. Hisame nodded then stripped, shirt, sports bra, boots, pants, panties, revealing a large, thick but trimmed, white bush, then went to the bed, sat on the side and after a few breaths, slowly spread her legs, then used her fingers to expose her. I'm fully aroused, and I'm barely an inch, I'm half this size normally. I'm fully developed, just, undersized. I've been this small since I hit puberty and started masturbating. Hisame said, mostly hiding how ashamed she felt. Naruto looked at Hisame. He could tell how bad she felt and she thought she was inadequate. He was trying to figure out how he could help her without charming her. He wanted to see what she could do on her own first. Use the Kyoshugan on her. Kyuubi suddenly said in Naruto's mind, almost yelling. Ah, don't yell you hairy cunt. I'm sorry, you surprised me. I don't want to charm her yet, you know that. Naruto thought. I'm sorry Naruto, what I meant was now that you unlocked it, I know what level 3 does, some of it. Kyuubi said. Explain, how can it help Hisame-chan? Naruto thought. Hisame noticed Naruto wasn't looking at her, but had zoned out, as if he was in a genjutsu. Is something wrong Naruto? Naruto didn't react. Hisame watched Naruto for just over a minute before he blinked a few times. What happened? Is something wrong? Hisame said. Naruto smiled. I'll tell you how when we get back to Konoha, but I think I can help your little problem. What do you mean? There's no jutsu of any kind that can permanently alter my body, I've checked. Hisame said. There is now. Remember I mentioned I have special abilities, one of them is a unique Doujutsu. At the clearing I activated what I call level 3 of my ability. With it I can manipulate your body. I've never done this before though and I'm pretty sure it'll drain a lot of my chakra, so I may not be able to you today, at least this morning, this evening at the earliest, I really don't know how much chakra it'll take. Naruto said. Hisame sat there a moment, stunned, letting it sink in. You mean, this new level of your Doujutsu lets you transform my body however you want? Hisame said, and saw him nod. I don't care if I have to wait until we get back to Konaha. If you can really do this, without hurting yourself, then please try. Naruto-sama, Hisame said and bowed her head. According to my research, it won't hurt me, just use a lot of my chakra, which for me is saying something because I have a lot, several times more than most Junin in fact. I'll do my best, and promise that if I mess up I'll fix whatever I did wrong. Before I try, do you know how big you want to be? Length. Girth. Naruto said. Should I tell Naruto about that? No. He might think I'm a freak or something. I'll wait until I know for sure. For now I'll tell him what I'd like to have and see how he reacts. Hisame thought the swallowed nervously, took a breath and sighed. I hope you don't think I'm a freak or something, but I'd really love to have what I guess you could call the female version of a horse. Naruto raised his eyebrows and smirked. Well, I'm actually kinda curious now, how big? About a 6-inch girth and. Hisame said and stopped nervously. Naruto waited a few moments then signaled her to continue. 24 inches long, Hisame said, watching his face. I honestly don't know how this works, or if that's even possible, but I'll try. Hey, if it works my other girls will want enhancements too. I can think of a few right now that would love bigger tits. Give me a few minutes to get ready. Naruto said, backed up a few steps, sat on the floor cross-legged and closed his eyes. 5 minutes later His eyes showing the level 3 starburst pattern, the blue almost shining, he focused like Kyuubi showed him in his mindscape, a clear picture in his head of how he wanted Hisame to look. He pushed enough chakra into his eyes to do what he wanted, trying not to waste any. Hisame's moans and other sounds didn't register in his mind as he did it. He watched her already aroused lengthen quickly and thicken slowly, reaching the desired size in 58 seconds. The moment he was done and shut off his chakra and Doujutsu, he staggered a moment and fell to one knee, hands down to catch himself. Breathing heavy a couple times he caught his breath and stood. Hisame was sitting there with an ear-to-ear smile at what was standing proud from between her legs. You like it? Naruto said, the answer obvious from her expression. Give me one night to enjoy this, and you can kill me for all I care, put a ring in the end, leash it and walk me around by it. I'm your most loyal whore forever as long as I get one night with you to enjoy this, then I'll happily be your slave. Hisame said. I saw it when I activated my Doujutsu, I wonder what she's hiding. The way it looked I'd say it was something. Doesn't matter right now, I'll find out when we get back to Konaha. Naruto thought. In that case, I'm overdressed. Naruto said and quickly stripped. He smiled at her reaction when she saw his partially aroused foot-long flop out. When he got hard a few moments later he almost laughed when she wiped the drool from her mouth at the sight of his thick, 14 inches. You're just a horny old bitch aren't you Hisame-chan, tell me the truth, you just wanted to rule Snow Country so you could get laid any time you wanted, isn't that right? Naruto said firmly grabbed her throbbing. Hisame bit her bottom lip. Hisame said, then moaned in ecstasy when he starting to slide his hand up and down her super sensitive giant. Oh dear Kami yes. Please, make love to me before I explode. Hisame said, the last part begging. Please what? Naruto casually asked. Please, Naruto-sama, I give myself to you, whatever you want from me is yours, just please stop teasing me. Beat me to death for my past crimes, I don't care, just me while you do it. Hisame said. I think you learned your lesson, lay back, spread 'em wide and hang on. Naruto said. Hisame smiled and obeyed immediately, so with no further warning, or hesitation, he moved forward and buried his in her dripping to the balls, making her scream in pleasure. He leaned forward, roughly grabbing her big nipples and pulled them close to his face, stretching her tits but she obviously didn't mind, backed up slightly and started slowly sliding most of his in and out of her as he licked her nipples. Hisame's hands shot down her body, under her stretched tits and grabbed her now painfully hard and started stroking it, her hands squeezing painfully hard and moving fast up and down her red shaft like a. After what felt like hours, but was actually about 2 minutes, she matched his strokes, that really got the orgasm building inside her growing faster and stronger, but one of her few thoughts was to hold it back until he was ready. When he blew his load in her, she wanted to have hers at the same time, just in case he did decide to kill her, or worse, she wanted this memory burned into her soul forever. Oh yes, Naruto-sama, bite my nipples hard, chew 'em bloody, don't nibble them. Hisame yelled, then screamed in pleasure when he bit her right nipple hard. She could feel he released her left, so she moved her left hand from her to her tit and put her hard nipple in her mouth to suck and chew on. She tightened her as best she could, but no matter how hard she squeezed, his strokes continued to get faster and harder as she was nearing the greatest orgasm of her life, so far anyway. Then he slowed down so much she thought he'd stopped. No please. Don't stop, I'm so close, Hisame said, panting hard, her sweat-soaked body shaking. Smiling, Naruto easily pulled her shaking hand from her silt, and he grabbed it with both hands. Who said I stopped? I just slowed down to let you simmer a minute or two. Your first time with me won't be a quickie, oh no. I'll bring you to the edge, but you won't jump off that cliff into bliss until I want you to. I thought you understood, Hisame-chan. I'm going to break your. Naruto commanded powerfully. Hisame whimpered. She was terrified and excited at the same time. He was literally going to tame her like some wild horse, and when he did, she knew she'd belong to him totally, even more than she was now. Honestly though, she was looking forward to it, just letting everything else go. Her only purpose in life would be to please him, Snow Country in her plans. 11:28 a.m. She just laid there, spread-eagled, limp, drenched in sweat head to toe, not enough energy left to even lift her head. At the moment she had no thoughts, her entire being was focused between her legs where all her energy and most of her chakra was literally focused now. Please, let me come. Hisame repeated on reflex, as she had for the last hour, her eyes glazed over. He'd been her for almost 3 hours and she hadn't been allowed to climax yet. Something seemed to literally be holding her back. His eyes in level 3, Naruto was using one of the new abilities this level gave him to manipulate her emotions, and though draining he'd been mentally blocking her for a little over 2 hours now, and glancing at her face he knew she was ready. And as tired and sweaty as he was, and despite his experience and healing, his balls were swollen and were throbbing like they were in a hot vice, and honestly he didn't want to hold back any longer either, and didn't. Releasing himself and Hisame, they both locked up, head to toe, and he exploded inside her, filling her up. Naruto had been ready for it, and had done it before. Hisame wasn't. When it hit her, it literally blew her mind. Every thought, every limit she ever had, everything that made that Hisame who she was blown out with her orgasm, though she'd remember this as the greatest moment of her life. For all intents and purposes, the old Hisame was literally just to death. She was Naruto's now. That was her only thought as her mind and body shut down. When he finished, Naruto pulled out, staggered to the side and fell on the bed next to her, and though he didn't have to, fell asleep. Thanks for letting my body sleep in, or is this that dream thing you did when we first met? Naruto said. You're dreaming, mostly. I've been working on this most of the night, and finally figured it out, which is why you're here. To make this easier I wrote it down on this scroll. These are all of your abilities I can find for all 3 levels. Kyuubi said and tossed the scroll to Naruto. Naruto caught and unrolled it. Let's see. Level 1, cool, wish I'd known about that. Now how about level 2, yeah, oh that's definitely cool, I'll have to try that when we get back. Level 3, what did you? Naruto said and froze, then looked at Kyuubi. I was stunned too, believe me, but according to what I found, you can do it. And you can use my chakra for these abilities too, so you can save your own. You may feel a little drain, but I won't. You'd have to use level 3 all day before I felt the drain. Oh, 3 things about Hisame. I recommend you either 1. Reduce her by half, or 2. Use the new level 3 ability because we both know you'll be modifying your special girls when we get back home, and 3. Give her what she really wants. Kyuubi said. Which is what? Naruto said. Hisame doesn't really want a giant, she wants a long and big balls like yours. Kyuubi said. 8:13 a.m., Naruto's room, Island Hotel. Wakey wakey, hands off Snakey. Naruto said almost laughing. Hisame mumbled and turned her face down into the pillow. Naruto muffled his laugh, then smiled deviously. Thank you Anko-chan, you beautifully sadistic bitch. Naruto whispered, then lifted the side of the blanket. With Hisame on her left side, facing him, it made this easy. He reached in with his right and carefully grabbed his target, which barely fit in his hand. Wake up Hisame-chan, or else. Naruto said sweetly. Hisame grumbled a moment. Off doso, another hour. Hisame said still basically asleep. Naruto smiled, he was hoping she'd say something like that. Watching her face, he squeezed very firmly. Hisame squirmed a moment then turned and sat bolt upright, fully awake, and screamed. Doesn't getting your balls squeezed hurt like a bitch? Naruto said, then released her. Hisame's hands shot to her crotch. Of course it does, you son of a. Hisame said, then her eyes popped wide open in shock as what she was holding in her hands was not her, but a big set of male testicles, which she followed up with her hands to the end of her basically hard, 16 inches. Her hands shot back down, past her balls, and found her was still there, mostly. I'm a Futa, Hisame exclaimed happily. I did it a little while ago, you lost your, but everything else is still there, and a little more as you know. Oh, you may want to use the bathroom, that's not an erection, you have to pee, and really bad too I'd say. Naruto said. Oh, you're right. Be right back, Hisame said, got out of bed and almost ran to the bathroom. Naruto watched, very amused, then listened about 20 seconds and knew what she was having trouble with. Point it down and hold it, it won't break, trust me. Naruto called out, holding in his laughter. A few minutes later he heard it, then her sigh of relief. A couple minutes later she finished, washed and came out, smiling, and with a semi-flaccid. Feel better? Oh yeah, Hisame said, then lifted Naruto into a big hug and smoldering kiss. How'd you figure it out? Wasn't hard. You'll need to know a couple things about having that. Naruto said. Like peeing, got that, and I already know about zippers, especially with the monster I have. Thank you so much Naruto, how do you handle yours? You're as big as mine, so why doesn't it hang out of your boxers? Hisame sat and put Naruto down. A friend of mine came up with the solution, she's a fashion diva. I have a pocket in the front. Oh, and you aren't as big as me. I did myself too. Naruto said. Clever lil bitch. Wait, you're bigger now, can I see it? Hisame said. After I get home. Get dressed. Shizune woke me this morning, we're meeting her and Tsunade for breakfast at 8:30. Naruto said. Hi. Oh, what about, Kaiken? Hisame said. I fed her after I got dressed and before I changed you. Naruto said. 8:48 a.m., hotel dining hall. Tsunade suddenly swallowed her mouthful of food and coughed a few times, almost choking. You're what Hisame? Tsunade said, barely managing to keep her voice low. Hisame smiled, looking at Tsunade directly to her right, she parted her legs. Feel me up under the table. Tsunade subtly leaned left, moved her arm under the tablecloth and reached over and between Hisame's legs, groping her a few moments. Her eyes got big for a moment, then she regained her composure. Hisame smiled as she was groped, getting slightly aroused. They're real too, like I was born with them. How's this possible? I could do this kind of transplant with surgery, but, Tsunade said, stunned as a woman, a kunoichi, and especially as a med nin, her interest was growing by the second. I did it. Remember that special ability I mentioned yesterday? This ability is part of the new level 1 gained. Naruto said. That's incredible. Physical manipulation at a cellular level. This may as good as my jutsu. After breakfast I'm giving you a full checkup, Hisame, then we're having a serious talk, Naruto. If you can do what I think you can, I have some big plans for you. Can you enlarge? Shizune said. Everyone turned and looked at her with various levels of surprise. I grew up around Tsunade. I love and respect you, Tsunade-chan, but you can give a girl an inferiority complex. Shizune said. Tsunade gritted her teeth a moment. Sorry, Shizune, I didn't realize. Tsunade said, feeling a little guilty. No problem, how big do you want to be? Naruto said calmly. We'll discuss it later, clear? Tsunade said sternly. Shizune nodded. 10:03 a.m., Tsunade's suite Tsunade walked out of the bedroom followed by Shizune and the still Hisame, and sat on the chair nearest Naruto on the couch. I don't know how you did it, but I must admit you have me beat. Your chakra control must be almost as good as mine, and every detail is correct. I'm guessing you used yourself as the model. Naruto smiled. I had some help with that part, but yes. Naruto said. Like I told Hisame in the room, she's fully functional, male and female. Oh, she told me what you did to her last night, and I can see why you used it for her. That was very nice work, by the way. Tsunade said calmly, smiling, then the emotions fell away. Now, you are going to tell me what you did to Shizune. I don't mind that you had with her, she's happy and you really seem to care about her. Hisame has a different look in her eyes. I can tell you broke her and she'd happily follow you like the subby she is, but Shizune would do anything for you without hesitation, even kill me, and don't bother trying to deny it, either of you. You can tell me in front of them, or alone, but you will tell me about this ability you have if we're going to continue the happy little family you made. Tsunade said in a calm, no-nonsense tone. Naruto saw it in her body language, on her face and especially in her eyes, which weren't looking at his as she suspected it was a doujutsu. She wasn't a legend for nothing, obviously she had serious skills outside medicine. He also saw that she really didn't want to hurt him, but was just protecting Shizune, and to a lesser extent herself. Shizune, do you have any interest in Hisame? Interest? Maybe a little curiosity, as I've never seen a hermaphrodite before, much less a created one, but her does remind me of yours. If you want a yes or no, I'd have say no, Shizune said. Naruto looked at Tsunade a moment. Shizune, take Hisame into the bedroom, give her a deep throat blowjob down to her balls, and when she comes, swallow every drop, then you'll suck her nipples until we call for you. Naruto said. Hi Naruto-kun, anything for you. Come on Hisame-chan. Shizune said, took her hand and led her back into the bedroom they just left, shutting the door. Tsunade watched, stunned, as Shizune obeyed him without question. I have a genjutsu type doujutsu I call the Kyoshugen. So far it has 3 levels, I just unlocked the 3rd level yesterday. I can charm any woman instantly by making eye contact. When I charm her, both our eyes sparkle for a moment. It doesn't matter what mood she's in or how strong she is, they can't resist it. I could make you my pain-loving subby whore with ease and there's nothing you could do about it. Once charmed you'd happily obey me. Level 3 gives me the ability to manipulate the body, level 2 lets me manipulate the mind as well, but I just learned about that last night. Naruto said calmly. That information scared Tsunade a little, knowing that with a brief glance he could make her do anything he wanted, strip her, sell her to someone as a slave or just whore her out for money. How many women have you charmed? Tsunade said, still controlling her emotions, at least on the surface. Over 100, from classmates at the academy to clan heads. Yes, I'm still in the academy. Oh, you might like this, your old teammate Jiraiya, I own his. He's not charmed, though I probably could, but he does anything I want him to because I get him all that he can handle. His books have gotten better too. He still acts up sometimes, so I just have a couple of my girls bust his balls, and once he's healed he behaves again, but just between us, I think it does it on purpose because he likes it. Naruto said and chuckled. I wouldn't doubt it, he always did have a thing for getting hurt by beautiful women. The old pervert. I won't bother trying to lie to you since you've been honest with me. You scare me a little because I can't be on my guard all the time. With a single lapse in concentration you'd own me, and for reasons I think you know, I can't bring myself to seriously fight you, much less kill you. I just couldn't do it, the guilt would overwhelm me, and I'd end up killing myself. So I'll just ask flat out, when are you going to charm me, and what will you do with me once I'm your slave? Tsunade said, a little sadly at the end. I don't have slaves, I have girlfriends, and I treat all of them with respect and love, no one is mistreated. Naruto said. I have a request, promise me you won't let Jiraiya do anything to or with me. Tsunade said. Naruto laughed. That I'll promise you Tsunade, but I was going to ease you into it, let you see how my special girls live, then let you decide, but I will admit I know you'd chose to join anyway. Jiraiya told me a little about that jutsu you used to look younger, but he didn't have any details obviously. You said it's similar to my body manipulation ability. What would it be worth to you if I could make it permanent, actually make you 30 again, or even younger? Tsunade let that sink in a moment. Part of her mind was screaming, I'd you all night long and be your slave for life, but the rest was afraid to give up control like that again, like she had with Dan, just given into love and done things with Dan she hadn't let anyone do before or since. Tell me something. I'm guessing you'd need my help to do this, make me young again by re-energizing my cells or something. I am very tempted, and I'll help you do it, with a few conditions we'll discuss later. For now just promise me you won't charm me until I'm ready, okay? Tsunade said and he nodded. Thank you. Now my question, and this has to stay between us for now. Hisame loves what you did to her, but I have to ask, what's the big deal about having A in balls, especially that big? No offense, but A is far superior in sensitivity and number of orgasms. True, and the same reason guys love your more than other women's. While they're in there, I can do the same for you and you can see for yourself, no one has to know. I can even undo it before we let them out. Think of it as a test, a medical experiment, and I could use the practice. Naruto said. This isn't some perverted attempt to get your hands, or, between my legs is it? Tsunade said with a friendly glare. Naruto held in a laugh. Actually, it is to be honest, but the offer is real and I don't have to touch you, but I do have to see you. I don't have enough skill to do it through clothes, I've only used this ability 3 times. So what do you say Tsunade? I'm going to charm Hisame, not that I need to, but there are benefits to being charmed you'll find out later. It would help me understand it medically if I experienced it, wait, 3 times. You did yourself didn't you? Tsunade said, then smirked when he nodded. Men, you're sure you can fully reverse what you do to me? Hi, I guarantee it. Naruto said confidently. What the hell, as long as you promise me you won't tell anyone without my permission. Good. I can't believe I'm about to drop my pants and spread my legs for a kid. If anyone found out I'd be humiliated. I may not be able to kill you, but you try anything and you'll go back to Konaha in a full body cast. Which you'll probably be out of in a week because of your furry friend. Oh, who am I kidding? I have enough guilt over what happened yesterday, I'd do this anyway, don't think you own me because of that. Tsunade said, stood, let out a long, deep sigh, then dropped her pants and panties, stepped out of them, sat back down and spread her legs wide. Congratulations brat, you're the second man to ever see it's usually my shirt they want off, even when I was younger. I'm honored, and I'll tell you, honestly. I've seen a lot of pussies on women your physical age, and you beat 'em all easily, and most girls as much as 10, even 12 years younger. Naruto said. Tsunade blushed slightly. Normally I'll call bullshit on comments like that, because I've heard 'em all, but thank you. Now get to it. This isn't a peep show, it's medical. Naruto activated level 2, then went to level 3. He looked at her and locked what he wanted to do in his mind like Kyuubi had shown him, and activated his ability. Oh, that's warm, nice though. Tsunade thought, then watched her large bush part halfway up her mound, and with a fascinated, but medical eye watched as it formed and grew above her, which both impressed her and excited her a little because she still had it, unlike Hisame. Then she felt and saw her balls drop. In under a minute he was done. Naruto's eyes changed back to normal. Congratulations Tsunade, you're a futa, or if you want to be medical, a hermaphrodite. Futa is fine. I don't really feel different. Tsunade said and stood. Didn't expect that, they have some weight to 'em. She said the reached down, felt her balls then lifted her, getting a little aroused intentionally, held the base with her left and ran her right her full length then smirked at him. You made me bigger than Hisame, balls are heavier, and I'd say 18 inches long and about an inch more girth than Hisame's. I'm impressed. Will it get bigger when I'm aroused or is this it? Naruto laughed. Hisame is 16 inches regardless, that was intentional, but I honestly forgot about that when I did you. I guess you'll have to check. Tsunade sighed. I was hoping I wouldn't have to do this, even if it is medical, oh well. Sit down, might as well enjoy the show. She said and sat down in the chair. I hear one perverted comment. And I'll wish I didn't have balls, I got it. Naruto interrupted with a brief smirk. I knew there was a reason I like you, you have more common sense than Jiraiya. Tsunade said, sighed, then using both hands, her left mainly just holding it up, she began stroking her, filling her mind with images, some of them were her, a bustier Shizune, and Naruto, in a threesome, but she wasn't going to admit that to him, not for a while anyway. I'll admit this feels pretty good, oh yeah, here we go. Tsunade said as she got aroused, her surprisingly hard, which caught her a little off guard. Impressive, natural chakra enhancement. Hi, Kyuubi's idea, a built-in bonus she called it. Naruto said. No, stay focused, this is medical, there. I am bigger, another 2 inches I'd say. Tell me something Naruto, just between us, how big were you before you enhanced yourself, and what are you now? Tsunade said slowing her strokes. I was 14 inches hard, but how big I am now is my business, and you won't know until you're my girlfriend. Naruto said. Come on, this is medical, you have my word. Tsunade said seriously. Forget it, I'm not telling you, my alpha, my main girlfriend, gets first dibs. Naruto said. I'll show you my tits. Tsunade said and frowned when he shook his head. Come on, I agreed to this. No, there's, Naruto said and stopped suddenly, then smiled deviously. I just noticed something. If you really wanted to come you'd be fingering your two, but you haven't touched it, so how big is it? Tsunade stopped mid-stroke, her eyes open wider. Quote exclamation mark. That's my business, and you will keep those thoughts to yourself. Why should I? You slipped up, not me. So does anyone know? Naruto said confidently, and, I got you, smile on his face. Tsunade released her and sat upright, but it stayed hard, and she knew why. You are going to undo this and you will keep what you think you know to yourself, got it? Tsunade said firmly, glaring at Naruto. Naruto smiled at her, unfazed by her glare. Or what? If you're mad at me, why does you look harder than steel? It's pulsing with excitement. You want me to bust you, take you by force. I know that look. One of my girls, a special Jonin, gets that same look in her eyes when she needs her cunt busted and put in her place, blows her mind every time, and puts her in a happy, playful mood for a couple days. Naruto said calmly, but firmly. Tsunade listened, tensed up a moment, then let out a big sigh and flopped back in her chair. Please. I'll do anything you want, just please, don't tell anyone I'm. Tsunade said submissively. Looking for a man to fill that hole in your heart and give you the kind of life you truly want. Naruto said and saw her nod. I'll make you a deal, you have to stay a Futa and submit to me willingly, and when we get back to Konaha I'll get you and Shizune jobs you'll love. Would Shizune like to be in charge of the hospital? She seems to be the organized type. Tsunade looked up with a small smile. She'd love that, always was the responsible type, likes to keep busy and help people. What about me? From what I know about you, medicine is your life, so you'd be a special consultant on any special cases they can't handle. Meantime, how does Den Mother sound? I have this property I own that isn't doing anything. How would you like to run a, well, basically it would be a hotel for, shall we say, special women only. You'd have total control, I'd be the only man allowed there and I can guarantee it pervert proof. Naruto said with a smile. Why be so nice to me? You know you had me since yesterday when that fox girl, Tenten, knocked me on my. Tsunade said. Because I like you, this isn't how I wanted things to go with us, but I'm good at thinking on my feet and seizing an opportunity when I see one. Naruto said and gave her a genuine smile. 3 conditions. First, don't tell anyone I'm a Futa, I'll do that when I'm ready. 2. I chose when you charm me, I remember you said there are benefits and that level 2 lets you manipulate the mind, I'll tell you what I want done. Third, I decide when and how I give myself to you the first time. Deal, Tsunade said. I can live with that, with one condition. Even now you're still hard as a rock, and I know what'll make you blow your load, and don't worry, I have a special jutsu that'll clean it up without a trace. Deal, Naruto said. This feeling in my balls is getting really uncomfortable. I can't believe I just said that. It'll hurt like a bitch. Deal, Tsunade said, stood, shook his hand, removed her gray shirt exposing her, stepped out in the open, hands behind her back, legs wide. I might as well give you the full show. Don't hold back, I can take it, just be sure you get both balls, or I'll kick you through the ceiling. Tsunade said. Naruto nodded and headed toward her. Been about 5 minutes, and she was still curled up on the floor, both hands between her legs cupping her balls. Now that she'd had a few minutes to process it, she finally had a full grasp on why men were so protective of their balls, because getting hit there hurt like a mother, especially as hard as she'd been kicked. Oh dear Cammy, that hurts, it's as bad as getting hit in the. Tsunade said. Told you, want a hand up? Naruto said, right hand extended. Normally I'd refuse because of that macho, women are weak, shit, but considering the situation, please. Tsunade said, reached up and let him help her up. I'm curious about something, Naruto said and she nodded. Why didn't you heal yourself? Naruto said as he reached out and cupped her big balls, one in each hand. Tsunade winced and froze, a sliver of real fear ran through her. No. You promised you wouldn't. Relax Tsunade-chan. Naruto interrupted, then looked up at her and smirked. Did you think I was going to bust your balls while you were vulnerable? Tsunade looked away, ashamed, and nodded slightly. I'll admit the thought of breaking one of the Sannin, especially the legendary Tsunade, is tempting, and I can do it. I promised you I wouldn't do things like this to you. I was just wondering why a med nin as skilled as you are would willingly suffer like this for so long. I was going to do it for you. Naruto said as released her. Tsunade blushed. Thank you. I just wanted the full experience, it's the best teacher. To truly understand someone else's pain, you have to experience it yourself, and being a woman, well, you get it. Tsunade said and he nodded. Besides, I figure some of your other girls will want this enhancement, so I needed some special training. Tsunade said, smirking at the last part. Naruto laughed. At least you aren't hard anymore, that was a very impressive load by the way. I'll clean it up, you get dressed, we'll get the others, have a last night out then head back to Konaha in the morning. You sure you want to stay a Futa? Sounds like a plan, and yes I do, I might as well get used to it while I can. By the way Naruto, I assume you know someone that can make me some custom clothes. I could use some new bras, and I don't think my underwear will do a good job of containing my manhood. Tsunade said as she gently grabbed herself and smirked. I do. You don't look much bigger than me. Luckily I like mine loose, so I'll loan you a pair of my special boxers if you want. They'll hold you until we get back to Konaha. Naruto said. Thanks, but I'll make do with mine. That's what pants are for. Tsunade said then started healing herself. February 23rd, 8:05 a.m., Eastern Fire Country, campsite You were a lot scarier the last time I saw you. Tsunade said while holding up Kaiken in front of her. Kaiken yipped. Naruto smirked and chuckled. What did she say? Tsunade asked curiously. I don't think you want to know. Naruto said, still laughing softly. I think I do. Tsunade said. Naruto sighed, walked over to Tsunade, had her lean down and whispered in her ear so Shizune and Hisame didn't hear it. He thought she deserved that at least. Tsunade's face turned red as her head whipped back to facing Kaiken, but closer. You hairy little bitch. Kaiken smiled, as best as a fox can anyway. She wants to know if you're even now, or would you like to trade insults with her, in which case she'll. And she insists I quote her exactly, emotionally rip your tits off and shove them up your. Naruto said. Tsunade grumbled a moment then sighed. Deal, friends. Tsunade said and a moment later felt Kaiken lick her face. She wants you to know that once you and her know each other better, she'll lick you anywhere you want. Naruto said quietly so only Tsunade heard him, then winked. Perverted old vixen. Tsunade whispered playfully. She said you have no idea. Naruto said with a smile. February 24th, 8:43 a.m., Konaha main gate Naruto-kun. She exclaimed happily, jumped the counter and hugged Naruto, squashing his face between her full partially supported by her Chunin vest. The others smiled. Naruto pulled free, smiling. Everyone, this is Kimari Inuzuka, Chunin, 16 years old. And Naruto-kun's very satisfied bitch for 2 months. Kimari said with a big feral smile. Kimari, this is Hisame, she was a client a couple weeks ago, and is moving to Konaha now. That's Tsunade, one of the Sanin. I'm honored to meet you, and hope you'll be staying in Konaha. Kimari said and smiled pervertedly, openly staring at Tsunade's chest. Tsunade looked her over. 5 feet 6 inches, about 140 pounds, well muscled for an Inuzuka her age, but kunoichi sandals, black mid-thigh shorts, standard green Chunin vest over a black tank top that barely hid her large cup she figured, only the lower half of the vest was fastened so it pushed up her tits to show more cleavage. She had the normal feral appearance of most Inuzuka women and wild black hair past her shoulders. Keep staring at my chest and the next time you see me it'll be from your hospital bed, but I am staying. Hi, Tsunade-san. Kimari said nervously. She's impulsive, even for an Inuzuka, but she's a good girl, aren't you? Naruto said. Kimari nodded, leaned in and made happy puppy noises when Naruto rubbed her head. The other member of our group is Tsunade's apprentice, Shizune, the pig is Tenten. Everyone, the smiling girl still at her post is Same, she graduated with Kimari. Her family runs the best bakery in Konaha. Naruto said. Come on, get back over here, you can see Naruto-kun later you horny bitch. Go to the tower Naruto-kun, you may want to run the rooftops though since you've been gone so long, you know how many of us get without a regular serving of Naruto. Same said with a perverted smile. Kimari pouted, got a quick kiss then jumped back to her spot behind the counter of the security station. Naruto nodded. Come on, if I'm spotted it'll take us an hour to reach the tower. Wait, Hisame, Tsunade, how are you at Shushin? How far is it from here to the tower? Hisame asked. Konaha is 5 miles across. Tsunade said. Best I can do is halfway, then I'd need a minute to catch my breath before I can do it again. Hisame said, hoping that was good enough for him. I can cross Konaha, but only by myself, maybe with Naruto. I think 2 is better, unless you can do that jutsu, can you Naruto? Tsunade said. No, I can use Shushin, the short and long range versions. I'll take Hisame, you take Shizune. Naruto said. 8:45 a.m., Hokage Tower . Naruto opened the door to the waiting room, walked in and immediately held up his right hand in the stop, shut up position near his head. He saw her pout sadly as she bit her bottom lip. Later, I have guests and we need to see him immediately. She looked past her young master and her jaw dropped. Tsunade-san, is she? She asked, knowing Naruto understood, but she didn't know how much Tsunade, the returned Hisame and the cute brunette holding the pig knew about his abilities. Only Hisame and Shizune, and she knows. Naruto said. She nodded, stood, squeezed her large through her clothes then rubbed her mound through her mid-thigh skirt. If they knew then she didn't have to hide anything. She smiled when Naruto nodded with a smirk, then fast walked to the Hokage's door and went in, shutting it behind her. Tsunade smirked. What's her fetish? Losing a catfight to a much younger enemy Kunoichi she catches stealing, and getting dominated by me. She asked for the enemy Kunoichi scenario and I agreed. I'll send someone to her house tonight, with a shadow clone to watch the show. She has a fake office set up in her basement for role-playing. Naruto said. The office door opened and the secretary came out. Go in Naruto-kun. Thank you. Naruto said, smiled at her, then lead his new girls in. Office . Hey old man, Hisame decided to join my special girls. Naruto said as he entered, followed by Hisame who smiled. Oh, and look who I ran into. Naruto said as he started across the room to the chair. Sarutobi's eyes got as big as saucers for a moment, then he smiled. Tsunade. Hello sensei. Quite a persistent lil brat ya have here, talented too. Tsunade said then smirked. Who's charmed? The third asked. Hisame and Shizune, bagged and tagged, so how are Tenten and Siko doing? Naruto asked. Basically calm. Sarutobi's face went neutral. She's healthy and adjusted to her new life, she still has a little trouble transforming. She's staying with Kurenai and works at Ichiraku Ramen. When she found out Ayame was like your big sister, she refused to work anywhere else, though she was polite about it. Hinata, Ino and Sakura have been helping her with clothes and the girl stuff, but she has a special bond with Tenten, and you know why. Tomorrow morning, 8 o'clock, full meeting about Tenten and the mission. Naruto, Hisame, you're dismissed. Tsunade, we need to talk. It's okay Shizune-chan, I'll see you and Tsunade later. My place is easy to find, ask anyone. Naruto said, gave Sarutobi a nod then left with Hisame. 9:07 a.m., Naruto's penthouse suite . He was only 6 feet inside his apartment, he could see Hisame standing by the closed door with a huge, highly amused smile on her face. And he knew she hadn't been noticed yet. The reason was the two much older, one slightly older and for his age, girls group hugging, and groping, him the last few minutes. He hated doing it, but he had to break this up before it got out of hand, not that he'd mind, but there was some important things he has to tell them. He broke the kiss with the girl in front of him and hardened his expression. Line up for inspection, Naruto commanded, using his power. Not 3 seconds later they were in a line several feet in front of him, going left to right, starting directly in front of him. Left to right, all barefoot, in shorts and t-shirts, nothing underneath, was Kurenai, Anko, Tenten, Ino, Sakura, Hinata and Siko, from the island, and they were all suddenly worried they'd done something wrong. He very rarely did that. Did we do something wrong Naruto-sama? Kurenai said nervously, adding the sama instead on kun. Naruto sighed. No, but I need a shower, and we have some big things to talk about. As I'm sire you know from Tenten-chan and Siko-chan, there was an incident on the island. Hisame, relax. Please, everyone have a seat. Hisame is part of the family now. You can all chat until I get back. Hisame, don't tell them anything about what happened in the hotel, I'll do that. Understood. Naruto said and Hisame nodded. Oh, and Hisame-chan. I'm ordering you to stay relaxed. Naruto said and his eyes lightly sparkled a moment. Hisame felt her go limp, she knew what he wanted her to hide verbally and otherwise, then nodded and watched him leave the room. You must be Hinata, Naruto-kun's alpha, and now mine. Without bothering him, could I get a tour? Hi, I'm Hinata, and I'd love to show you around. Anko, Kurenai, stay here, we'll be back before Naruto-kun finishes. Hinata said. They nodded there, okay, and led Hisame around the suite and then up to the rooftop terrace. 11:43 a.m. Now that you know about Hisame, you've all seen and examined her new parts, which she obviously enjoyed, and now Tsunade and Shizune are here and told you their parts of what happened. Naruto said, leaving out that he'd made Tsunade a futa and ball busted her. Tomorrow morning at 8 o'clock, my best girls will join me in a meeting with the old man and the elite of Konaha, and this is an official meeting so you'll all behave like the skilled kunoichi I know you are, and I'll give him some demonstrations of my new abilities. What I want you to do is decide what improvements you want. Anyone I don't do at the meeting will get her gift afterwards in the playroom. Naruto-kun, we'll be discussing what happened to me, and what I did to Siko-chan, won't we? Tenten said. Naruto walked up to Tenten and hugged her. Of course Tenten-chan, I'll talk to Kyuubi tonight and get to the bottom of this. Naruto said while hugging he, then released her and looked into her eyes. I promise. Tenten smiled, he'd never lied to her or broken a promise to any of the girls, and she realized a few days after she got back to Konaha that what happened to her wasn't anyone's fault, even Kyuubi couldn't remember everything she'd done, even in the last 2,000 years. Thank you, and I'm truly sorry about what I said and did, Tenten said, starting to get a little sad. Naruto put his hand on her mouth. Forget it Tenten, special occasion. When Naruto removed his hand from her mouth she smiled happily. You're so good to me, and you're getting so when things settle down, and Naruto-kun, though you don't force us to do anything we don't like, so when you do, you have my permission to use any part of my body any way you want, after you make a few improvements. Tenten said and smiled pervertedly. Are you sure? Naruto asked. I am. We all have our favorites, fetishes and positions that you do because we love it, but even if we aren't against doing what you want, you let our mood decide what we do, and this is what I want, understood? Naruto-sama. Naruto smirked. How can I refuse? My number 2 girl. Everyone but Naruto gasped in shock, especially Tenten. You mean it? You're making me second only to Hinata? Tenten asked nervously. You and Hinata are basically equals now. Hinata shares my heart, you share my power. We're linked now Tenten, so we have things to work out, but not right now. Before everyone explodes, go get your hugs. Naruto said and gave her a kiss on the lips before she stepped away. She was immediately mobbed by the others. February 25th, 8:01 a.m., Hokage Tower, office. The Hokage had just sealed the room and signaled him to begin. Naruto had to glance around again. In the middle of the room with him was his alpha, Hinata, his beta, Tenten, who was also going to be discussed because of what happened on his roof, then Ino, Sakura, his new girlfriend he'd saved from the island, Siko, and Hisame, formerly of Snow. Basically lining the walls around them was the elite of Konaha. Starting at the old man's left was Jiraiya, Tsunade, Shizune, Anko Mitarashi, Kurenai Uehi, Kakishi Hataki, reading her little orange book, Izumi Uchiha, Might Mai, Yugo Azuki, Ibiki Morino, not smiling as usual, 1 Asuka Sarutobi, 2 Yushima, and finally, directly across from the Hokage, was 3 Kosuke Fujino. That was only half of Naruto's audience, however, the rest were mostly the clan heads. Many with their wives. Hiyashi and Hana Hyuga, Inoichi and Inami Yamanaka, Makoto Uchiha, though appointed 2 years ago shortly after Fugaku died, was still adjusting to the position, with Naruto's help of course. Next was Sume Inuzuka, Shikaku and Yoshino Nara, Choza Akamichi, Shibi and Yukemi Aburame, then last, and definitely least, to Sarutobi's right were the senior advisors. Homura, who no woman in Konaha under 60 would even give a hand job to. Then there was Kaharu, who hasn't had anything hard between her legs in 40 years, and despite rumors about their size, even Jiraiya didn't want to see her. With my influence around Konaha, Kyuubi-chan isn't a secret, especially to the people in this room, so should I start there, with what she did to Tenten's ancestors? Naruto said and Sarutobi nodded. 8:28 AM ===. Over the generations it evolved into the bloodline limit of Tenten's family. Now you know what happened, how and why, any questions? Naruto said. Everyone but Siko raised their hand, especially the slack-jawed, bug-eyed Tenten. Naruto sighed and gave the, "Why me?" laughing whimper. He then closed his eyes a few moments, then nodded and opened them. I think I can answer most of your questions. Yes, it's a fully developed bloodline limit, and if Tenten's family isn't registered, with an estate, by the end of the year, both Kyuubi and I will be upset and take the matter into our own hands. Naruto said, the last part coolly. Half the hands came down. Siko is part of Tenten's clan now. And in a way so am I, and according to Kyuubi both of us can mark someone like she did Siko. Naruto said calmly, then his expression went stone dead. If Tenten or Siko receive any of the treatment that I got growing up, that person will be immediately punished based on the severity of the treatment, then I'll leave Konoha and take everyone under my influence with me. Naruto spiked his chakra and his eyes turned red with vertical slit pupils. And I'll kill anyone that tries to stop me, and I will start my own village. Naruto said in a calm, but powerful voice. The rest of the hands went down. Understood. I believe you were also going to give some demonstrations of the abilities the new level of your Kyoshugen gives you. Sarutobi said. Naruto returned to normal, nodded to the Hokage and smiled. Hi, and I believe Sakura has already had something in mind since Tenten first changed. Sakura smiled happily, stepped out into the open and pulled her red shirt up and off. Everyone there had seen her many times already, so no one was embarrassed in the slightest. Do you need another look, Naruto-kun, or are you ready to get rid of my B-cups? Sakura said excitedly. I remember Sakura-chan. Before I do this, can everyone see, or do some of you want to move to the other side? Naruto said, saw the people by the wall across from the Hokage nod and move to the sides, then he had Sakura move so she was facing everyone. Naruto turned so he was too. You've all seen level 2. He said, then activated it and glanced around. This is level 3. Naruto advanced to the next level then gave everyone a good look. Oh, Anko said lustily. I don't have a name for this level yet, but this is what it can do. Naruto said, turned back towards Sakura. His pupils were now a starburst within a ring. The starburst inside that ring, in both eyes, began spinning towards each other. Sakura started moaning, in pleasure, then her started swelling as they turned a dark pink, almost red. Sakura watched, a huge smile on her face, as her little B cups became full C cups within a few seconds, and continued to grow. An intense, but comforting, warmth filled her chest. At about EF cup they sagged from their weight, but she expected that and didn't care. They were still full, semi-round jugs. When they were about the size of watermelons they stopped growing, and while more oval than round now, they hung past her navel and stuck out about 8 to 9 inches from her body. She lifted her left, and smiled even bigger at the saucer-sized red areola and thick, inch-long nipple. How big, Naruto-kun? You're an H-cup. They're full but really soft, so they look bigger than they are, according to what your bra will say, as Hotaru-chan has often said. Happy, Naruto said, though he already knew her answer to his question. Sakura covered the 8 feet between them in a second, threw her arms around him and kissed him passionately. I'd say that's a yes. Sume said, then laughed. Naruto waited a full minute before removing Sakura from him and sending her back to her spot to put her shirt on, though she did pout about that. Before my next demonstration, does everyone know what a futanari is? X.